Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fishing North Atlantic. Now, as you can tell, we already have all 40 lines out, even though this is 10, and then, 10 more here, 10 more here, and 10 more there. So, yeah, we've been out here a little while, setting lines. It's not the best. I mean, there's not a whole lot of fish underneath the boat, but I decided to come way down out here in the middle of nowhere and just see what we can do. So hopefully, it'll pan out for us. We do not have the greatest amount of fuel left, just because of the fact that we're out here in the middle of nowhere. So we're going to have to watch out for that one. And let's actually see how good I can do. There's only 2 in this one here. Might as well get a perfect right off the bat. Whoa, that was kind of weird. But I did not necessarily fire the guy, but I made the guy... I can't remember his name. Maybe it was Michael? I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, I made the other guy go to the crew house and basically just wait. Now, you still pay a shit ton of money when they're in the crew house. But I didn't want to fire him to hire him back, basically. I mean, you pay as much money as he's in the crew house as you do hiring him and firing him and so on and so forth. So I decided just to, come out here with, who's with me? Pearl and Rudy. Rudy's not the greatest of them, and so on and so forth. But I decided to take them two with me, and they cost the least amount of money, and we're not doing fantastic. The first 2 lines, 2 and 1 swordfish, so they're not doing great. But I also I did update or get the $300,000 quota. So now we can catch 515,000 pounds of tuna, which is good. I mean, and long story short, that's going to come in handy here shortly. We're going to run out of... almost didn't get that one. We're going to run out of things to, catch here shortly until next year. So, it wasn't the worst thing that I could have done. There's a tuna right there that I got an okay on because I fail at life. But yeah, I decided to get that one. I mean, we are sitting at almost 11 million. I did have 11 million, but, it keeps just bouncing up and down like damn yo-yo. Oh, that was 1,200. So, yeah, I mean, because it's bouncing up like a freaking yo-yo, it's not necessarily the easiest thing to keep above 11 million or 10 million for some reason. But especially when you keep buying shit, that will typically happen. Let's see here. We got 2 swordfish, it does look like. There's another perfect. And let me just tell you what, I've been getting a lot of comments lately, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I got one comment from, a new feller around here. His name is Mr. Kayak. It's not really Kayak. Sorry about that for not necessarily remembering. But, yeah, he just got the game. He's on the Nicky, I believe. Or Nicky, I don't know. I think it was the first boat. And, he's been out here trying to battle the high seas with the rest of us. And, thank you much for letting me know, what you're doing, and keep me informed on how you're doing and how much fish you're catching and so on and so forth. And hopefully, like I said in the comment, hopefully you can get on the Hermes or whatever and get a lot of fish with that boat. Because, it's kind of fun to drive. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's pretty fun. Pretty fun indeed. And then there's Mr. Allen out there, and oh boy, howdy he. I'm over here taking loans out, to get bigger boats and shit like that. He's over here with $122 million until, disaster stroke. Man, oh man. Apparently his game didn't save or it corrupted or something like that, and he lost everything. So, I mean, I don't know what I'd do if my game corrupted like that. I mean, just to be honest with you. Of course, I'd start over and keep on going, but gee whiz, 122 million. He's been playing the game a little bit longer than I have, as you can tell. And I got it when the game first opened, or game first came out. So gee whiz, dedication to you, that's for sure. But anyway, we're on line 7, and we only got 5,700, so we're not doing too great. Not doing too great at all. But anyway, I mean, those are just the two top comments that I got from the last. Oh shoot! Oh shoot! But anyway, those are the last two comments that I got from the video and of yesterday's. Oh, come on, come around the boat. Thank you. And you know, I just wanted to give them a little shout out just because, you know, I like I said in previous episodes, I love, you know, talking to y'all, and I think it's fantastic to get to know y'all a little bit and stuff like that, you know. And sometimes when you comment, you know, sometimes I don't get it for like an hour or so, just because I'm, you know, I could be working, recording, what have you. Like right now, I mean, it's like 1 something, and so the video is already out, 1:15 Pacific time, and I set it on 12 p.m. Pacific time. So you know, sometimes it comes out, and you know, I can't get to you right away, or y'all comment and I'm at work or what have you, and so you know, sometimes I don't necessarily get back to you as fast as I would like, but I do try to get back to you as fast as I can, just because, you know what, I tell you all to comment and stuff like that, so when you actually do comment, it makes me happy. Plus, it you know, takes me away from work a little bit, and that's all that matters, because who likes to work, right? I mean, we all have to work, but who likes to work? Who likes to go to work? And yeah, all that fun and dandy stuff. 7,625 pounds so far, and we got 2 more lines to go. So we're not doing great. Like, hopefully I set these lines on something that's good, but I mean, honestly, it's not doing real great. And that is one of the hardest part about this game. You know, you can either just set the line to wherever the hell you want them, or you can go and, you know, try to look for the damn things. And I moved the mouse at the last second on that one, and I got an okay out of it, which is not good. Not good at all. Okay. Great. Ah, boy, howdy. 954 on that one. And I think that's because I got an okay on the damn tuna. Boy, howdy. Boy, howdy indeed. But anyway, how y'all day going? Today is the 15th of December, so we got 10 days left till Christmas. And honestly, it doesn't even feel like it, you know? It honestly doesn't. It just feels like another day. Every day that goes by is just another... Oh, what? How did I miss that? Thank you. It just feels like another day, you know? And not necessarily feeling the joy or anything. But, you know, hey, whatever. Not a whole lot you can do from it. Or about it, anyway. But at least all my lines are blue, you know, so at least we're catching... Oh, come on. At least we're catching some fish out here. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna get what's-her-name out, and I'm gonna make her do this line just to see who's better at it. You know, watch there be like more fish on the line or something. Something's gonna happen. But because we went a little bit too far, we gotta go back, but that's all right. All right. Boy, howdy. It is absolutely remarkable how many people watch this game, especially how bad I am. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily terrible at the game. I mean, it's hard to be terrible at a game that literally walks you through it. But yeah, you know, it's crazy because, you know, I bring up the long dark, and honestly, the only reason why I posted that video, or the 3 videos, is because there was a new region, and you know, that's what started my channel, the whole 10 yards. And so I posted it, and you know, I didn't get a lot of views on it, which is fine, completely fine. But when I posted this one, man, oh man, it has like 40 some views in like 9 hours. Absolutely crazy. It just blew up, and it's like, okay, well, y'all definitely want to watch this game. So that's why we're posting this pretty much daily now, until we find something else, or until y'all get tired of it. I mean, it's a fun game, you know, you go line to line and so on and so forth. Ooh, there's 1,000. Man, never thought I'd be so happy to see 1,000. Wow, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, this game's pretty fun. I mean, this is what, episode 36, I believe it is. And I mean, I probably put at least 50 hours into this game already. And it come out November 20th, I think. So almost a month, 100 hours. That's not bad. Nom, 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 nom. Boy, howdy. I will tell you another thing right here. You know, when you're sitting in a room, if you ever have decided, you know, to do the whole YouTube thing or anything, the biggest thing that you have to get over is talking to yourself in a room. That's the biggest thing, because literally, I know that I'm talking to y'all on the other side of the screen. Okay, I know that, and you guys are listening, watching, so on and so forth. But it is the weirdest thing in the world to realize, like, oh hey, I'm actually talking to myself in a room playing a game. It's weird. It's honestly kind of weird, but you know, hey, wouldn't change it for anything. Like I said, you know what? I wanted to do this for a long time. Me and my brother did, and you know, and that's why I started doing it. But that happens to be the weirdest thing. So when people, like, you know, that do the whole vlog thing and stuff like that, say that it's weird talking to a camera, especially in public, like walking down Main Street or whatever, I couldn't do it. I honestly don't think I could do it, just because it's weird looking to a camera like, hey, how's it going? It's weird. It's weird. But anywho, I know some of y'all want to listen to trucking stories, and I've been trying to think of one. I mean, I do have a ton of them, but I mean, I don't want to tell you stories that you already heard and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to pick and choose, you know. I will say the first time that I ever drove a semi alone, I was 21 years old, and it was October 25th, 2018. That was the first time I ever drove alone. And, you know, I had 3 days training. I never went to a shipper or consignee or nothing. And, you know, that was it. That was all I did. 3 days. I drove from Salem, Oregon to Layton, Utah, and back. Took us 3 days, and that was it. My driver safety manager person dude, he gave me keys to a 2018 Freightliner Cascadia, and it had 98,000 miles on it or something like that. And yeah, I mean, he said go have fun. So the first load I left, I think I had to stay in, I think it was a Monday that I left, and the first load I had was big old rolls of paper, and like big rolls, I mean like 8 foot across, about 8 foot tall, big giant rolls, weighed 26,000 pounds, going to what was it going? Started with T. Anyway, it's a little bit south of you know, if you know anything about Oregon, it's across the way from Lebanon, whatever. And so I dropped off there, couldn't find the flipping drop off, and of course I didn't know what to do. I knew they had to see the paperwork, but I didn't know, you know, they had to sign it or anything. And it was literally learning on the fly, ain't even kidding. And so after that took me like 2 hours, and then I had to go across to Lebanon and pick up a trailer. Well, I didn't know what number they wanted. Now, in the dispatch, you have the trip number, you have the BOL, which is bill of lading number. So you have that one, you have the PO number, and you have a bajillion other numbers, and you have to figure out what one they want, because they know what number they want, but they ain't going to tell you what number it is unless you tell them first. So normally, at the end of my, you know, trucking career last time, I just said, what number do you want? What's the last four? And then the, you know, 7584 or whatever. And it's like, okay, so it's this one. Blah. And then they were like, oh yeah, well, you're going to trailer whatever, and so on and so forth. And that's honestly the easiest way to do it. And so after I figured that one out, no, shut up. So after I figured that one out, I picked up the trailer, and it was super late, absolutely super late. And what I was doing was I went from Lebanon, which is I believe 234, exit 234, 238, somewhere in there, and I had to go down to Medford, Oregon. Drop that trailer off in a drop yard that we had. Turn around, pick up another trailer that was going to Home Depot in Roseburg. And so I did that. And then finally I got to go up and pick my gal up, you know, and it was just crazy. Absolutely crazy. And my first day I drove or it actually took 14 hours. And that's the longest you can work. It was just crazy, honestly. And boy, hell, let me tell you. So then my second day, I picked my gal up, picked up a load in Eugene and Halsey, left, and then went out to Reno, Nevada. That was my first trip. Left at midnight because I figured that would be a smart, bright idea. And if you ever been out on 89 and 44 going to Reno through Susanville, it's not the biggest road in the world. Real curvy, you know, especially when it snows. When it snows, it's a pain in the ass. Anyway, and so I dropped them loads off and went through a residential area that you're not supposed to go through, and figured out you need a trucker GPS. Found that out. Oh yeah. I mean, it was real, you know, real smart on my part. So I got me a trucker GPS and all that fun stuff. And this is my first week, you know, I was never told of anything. And, you know, and then, but everything was fine. You know, I went out and did all that. And they kept me close for a long time. They kept me on the West Coast. And I told them, I was like, can I go somewhere else? Like anywhere else? And so they're like, okay, fine. So then I can't remember what exactly they made me go to pick up a load, but I ended up going to Denver. And I had to figure out how to get to their yard so I can, you know, take a sleep for a while. So I figured that out. And it was like downtown Denver. That wasn't fun. Roads are tight. Bumpy ass roads, let me tell you. I mean, like one bump and you're flying out the truck. It was bad. It was bad. And then all of a sudden, this year, they're putting I-70 underneath the flipping ground for some ungodly known reason. So it is just a massive cluster, and it's honestly, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, I'm sure they have reasons for it, but I don't know why. I even asked people, I was like, what the hell are they doing? Oh, they're putting I-70 under the ground. Why? Like through Denver, they're putting I-70 underground to build more stuff on top of it. I honestly have no idea. Maybe it's an eyesore to watch cars go by. I don't know. So, you know, I used to love going to Denver just because of, you know, from Salem, it's about 1,500 miles one way. And it would take me 4 days to get there, depending on if Wyoming wants to let you go by or not. And what I mean by that is, most of the time, in the wintertime, which is 9 months out of the year, you can either go right through it, or you'll be stuck there for 3 days because the wind's blowing like 60 plus miles an hour, or the snow's blowing so hard that you can't see 2 feet in front of you. It's bad. And so that's what I mean. Like, you know, it'd take you 3-4 days to get out there if the weather wants to let you by. And I've been real lucky because I went through Wyoming a crap ton of times, and I only got stuck like 3 times in Wyoming. So that wasn't bad at all. So, you know, not terrible. my favorite run, honestly, used to be from not Prosser, from Richland, Washington to Denver, Colorado. And honestly, there's only one reason for it, and that's miles. That's it. You know, more miles you get, more money you make. And so that's what I used to do, and they used to not give it to me. Like the last 6 months, so I was 48 states, and I went all the way out to Ohio, went all the way out to Alabama, so on and so forth, and got to see a lot of the country. Honestly, I didn't get to stop and look at it, and see what was going on, but I did get to go out and see it as we're driving by. And it kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie, but what are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? So because of all that, I got to see a lot. Got to share it with my gal. Didn't necessarily make great money for being gone all the time, but we did fine. Paid the bills and everything else, and honestly, that's why we went back the second time. So I started driving in 2018, and then in of late 2018. Stopped driving in April 2019 because I had a kidney stone. And then what happened is that I remember saying this in the last video, or a video before last, somewhere along the line. But anyway, I had a kidney stone. It was 5 millimeters. Couldn't drive, so they fired me / I quit. And then from April to December, my gal worked because I couldn't find any work for some reason. And so that's why YouTube was started in August. I think it was August 21st of 2019. And, I thought that was real cool. And then, she was making enough money to pay the bills, but not enough money to pay off my Citibank card. And, or my credit cards. Just because of the fact of I had to have a rental car to get home and gas bills to go back, and it was just bad. So I told her, I said, you know what, let's go back out on the road, and we'll make the money, pay off all our debt, and then we'll just go home. She's like, okay. So I drove from January 3rd to August 30th. You might as well just say September. So I drove from January to September. So I drove 1 year and 2 months out on the road. And I calculated it up one time, but I can't necessarily remember. I have probably 125,000 miles or something like that to my name professionally, which is a lot of miles. That is a lot of miles, and I'm 23. 120,000 miles is ridiculous. Now, of course, there's other people that have more. I'm not saying that I'm the best, and I never will say that, just because you get too cocky and bad shit happens. But yeah, I got a lot of miles and a lot of stuff, that I've seen and stuff like that. I can honestly say I'm lucky, honestly. I mean, I got to see a lot of shit and everything else. But boy, howdy, the stress level of that job, let me tell you what. You have cars, you have people that don't know how to drive, you have delivery times, appointment times, pickup times, car accidents, weather, just the list goes on and on. And of course, the people that, the managers and the bosses and stuff like that, they're sitting behind a computer. And they don't understand, oh, hey, he's in Denver, Colorado, where there's traffic out the ass everywhere, or he's in LA, so he's not going to get there, the fastest or whatever. List goes on and on. And so you had to call them and explain to them, hey, I ain't going to make it to this delivery because of this. And, sometimes I had to send a picture to them and be like, this is what I'm looking at. And they're like, oh, hey, that weather's kind of bad. I wouldn't drive in it either. Really? No shit. So, a lot of them moments happen. And it's like, you are a dipshit. But of course, because they're the manager and you need a job, oh yeah, it's real bad. So that happened a lot. A lot of, I remember very, very vividly. There was a time I was driving up I-25 out of Colorado going up to Wyoming. And I was hauling mattresses and stuff for Denver Mattress. And I remember very vaguely or vividly one of them words. I remember it clearly. That I was called up, and I drove all night. This one night, I started driving at like 6 in the morning or 6 in the afternoon, at night, whatever. And so I drove all the way up, and then all of a sudden the road got super icy, like super icy, real bad. And so I had to drive in the fast lane just because of the fact of it was like 2 inches of ice in the slow lane. I don't know why Wyoming clears the fast lane first. I don't understand it, but whatever. So that's the point. So I did that, and I stopped at Casey, Wyoming, at the Sinclair, I think it's called, gas station. They had like truck parking and whatnot, and honestly, that place had the best pizza I've ever had in my life. A gas station pizza place was fantastic. There's a little French gal behind the counter, and she made it. I don't know what she did to it, but it was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. To me, she was hard to understand just because I think she was from France, but I'm not for sure. But anyway, she made the best pizza I've ever had. And sadly, I only got to go up there twice, or over there twice, whatever. Depends on where you are. I went there twice. And, it was really expensive. It was like $16.99 for a medium pizza plus tax. And, but yeah, I was like, you know what? Let's just get it. I don't want to cook tonight. I just want to go to bed. So we bought the pizza. It was fantastic. The ranch was fantastic. The whole thing was fantastic. It, like I said, expensive as hell, but it was real good. And so we did that, and then we drove up, and I think I was in Montana, but I think I was almost to Spokane Valley, Washington, and I got called up by my the OCM, which is the head guy at the terminal. Which, if you remember in the last video or whatever, me and this guy did not get along, period. Like, there was no love lost with anything. I mean, he was an asshole, and I didn't like him. And so he called me up, and this is when we were on good terms. And he goes, so, how's the weather? And I said, the weather's fine. I got, a little bit snowing, snowing a little bit. And, the roads are kind of icy and, stuff like that. And I said, nothing too drastic yet. And he goes, oh, well, that's good to hear. And he goes, so why'd you change your appointment time so many times? And I remember now, it wasn't the Denver Mattress load. It was a beer load. And what you had to do is you had to calculate it to where you set the PTA of projected time, or actually, no, it was the ETA. And then you set the PTA to get another load. But you had to send out a message saying, oh, hey, this is when I'm going to get here at tomorrow, December 16th at 1200 hours, with like 7 hours left. And, stuff like that. And so he called me up and he asked about the weather, and then he's like, oh, so why were you changing the appointment time so many times? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, well, what do you mean? I said, because I don't even know when I'm delivering the damn load. And at that point, I didn't. I was probably about 400 miles away from Spokane Valley. Actually, no, I think I was going to Hayden, Idaho. Anyway, I was going somewhere. And I was like 300-400 miles away. And I didn't know when I was supposed to deliver that load. And I didn't find out until I was in Post Falls, Idaho, which is past Hayden, Idaho. And I stopped at the pilot there, and then I was told, oh yeah, well, like, it was a Friday night, and they're like, oh, well, because you got there so late, which was early, it was the fastest I could get there, you have to wait till Monday morning at 5 a.m. to deliver. And I'm like, say what? They're like, yeah, so, get cozy. You're going to sit there for a while. So I had to sit there over the weekend waiting to deliver a beer load. And I sat at the Pilot. Me and my gal sat at the Pilot. I think it was a Pilot, but it could have been a Pilot Flying J. We sat there for 3 days. Friday night, Saturday, Sunday morning. Well, actually, no, Sunday, and then we left Monday morning. And it was, thank God we had share credits, because let me tell you, that was the most boringest ass thing I've ever done in my life. And honestly, I've sat more in that truck than drove, and it's really hard to believe that, but it's very true. Like if they didn't have a load, so the way they paid you is if you get up to 8,000 miles, after that you get a safety and proficiency bonus. Well, as soon as you hit about 6,500 to 7,000 miles, they quit making you drive. And they're like, oh, so you want to go on home time? Or, hey, you want to do this, do that, not drive? And it's just a way to screw you out, or they just wouldn't give you loads, period. And so, you'd be sitting 4 hours at this Pilot, 2 hours at another TA, waiting for a load. And what pissed me off the most is they're like, oh yeah, well, we need more trucks in Yolo, California. We need more trucks in Seattle, Washington. I was like, okay, then give me a load so I can move. Oh, well, you can't do that. Why? And that was just the way they ran. The less amount you drove, the least amount they had to pay you. And it was absolutely ludicrous and stupid and ridiculous, and the list goes on. But anyway, that was fun. But anyway, so I get to Spokane Valley after getting yelled at, and he was like, oh hey, yeah, I got the wrong truck, I'll call you back. And never did. He never called me back, which, come to find out, he never did call me back, ever. Like every time he called me to bitch at me, he never called me back. Ever. And I remember this one time, I think I told this story too, but the trailer was nose heavy. He told me that there was no such thing as a nose heavy trailer. And I said, apparently you haven't drove lately. And yeah, he was real happy about that one. And I said, you know what, I honestly don't care at this point. But let's see how the fish prices are doing. Let's turn off all this stuff here so we can see what we're doing. That is not great whatsoever. Lunenburg 19 and 17. Yarmouth, that is absolutely terrible. 19, we might have to go all the way up to Ingalls Head. 18 and 19. Ugh. Now, I know we have more swordfish than tuna, but is it worth... I mean, that one's not bad. Okay, so we're going to Digby, which is right next to the flippin' ass Ingalls Head, so I don't really know why. If we can make it, we might not be able to make it just because of the fact of we have no fuel in the damn boat. Digby, no, cannot cross land. There you go. We'll just shortcut it right quick. Yeah, we'll just go to Digby. Why not? But yeah, I mean that was just the fun I had to do. So you had the bosses over the top of you yelling at you. Then you had all the scales yelling at you if you got pulled in. And I mean, it was fun. I mean, I love to drive and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, there was just so much stress to that job, and everybody yelling at you. They made it less fun. Like you went out and you could do whatever, but at the end of the day, if they could yell at you, they were. But anyway, so let's see. 19 hours. Holy shit, we're a long ways. And 21 hours. Okay, so for some reason... Oh, we're going to make it. We're going to make it. Probably with, fumes in the boat tank. Gas tank, fuel tank, whatever. Man, I remember having that boat, the Dexter. Little boat. Man, we have a giant boat now. Holy shit. We have nothing left. I bet if you turned on the boat, it would just blow. 844,000. So we actually did worse. But we caught 79 swordfish and 12 tuna. I mean, not bad. Not bad. I wish that the swordfish was a higher price, but I mean, like I said, there's not a whole lot we can do. $12 million. I think we can honestly pay back that loan. 12. No, we can't. We can't pay it off, but we could pay that one off. But honestly, I'd rather just get the $13 million, which we should get in the next episode, to just pay it all off. So I think that's what we're going to do. So anyway, thank you guys for listening to me ramble and joke around and everything else about my whole trucking career. And like I said, if you want to listen to more of these stories and whatnot, I do realize that I may repeat myself, but at the same time, I do record a lot in one little session, and sometimes I spread them out a little bit, and so I might forget sometimes. So if I do repeat, try not to hound me too bad on it. And then also, because we're here, let's bait 20 of them. Right there, 20 with herring. And then 20 with squid. There you go. So because that's done, then we might as well get fuel. $6,000. Wow, wish there was for the big boat too. And look, we're back down to 12 million. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, leaving comments, and liking, subscribing, and everything else. Thank you for all the support that you guys have been giving me, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Take care.